Welcome, great agents across the country. Today is May 5th, 2016, and this is Mastermind call number 73. And one more time, hit *6 and hit 1 if you would like to participate in the call. We do have a couple people in the queue already. Tom, anything you want? Any news you want to share? Tim, any news you want to share with the group?
No, go ahead and start with Tom. You were starting with Tom. Go ahead.
Tom, if you're here, I don't think Tom is here yet. So, nope. Anything you want to share, Tim?
No, not really. I mean, we're just moving along down the highway. Life is good. We're delighted with all the wonderful folks we're working with, and we keep moving better and doing faster. So on we go.
Excellent. Chad, anything from a training perspective you'd like to share with the group?
No, I've been out this week, so anybody who has emailed me or waiting on me, I'll get back to you as soon as I can over the weekend.
Excellent. I would like to let y'all know we are kind of taking our show on the road. We will be in Washington, D.C. next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for the National Association of Realtors legislative session, and then we'll be at the big NAR show in Orlando. We'll be in Texas in September, so we're really trying to get out there and meet more of you. And we'd love to have some of you come up, shake our hands, put a name with the face. So if you're planning on being at NAR in D.C. next week, please come find us. I believe we are in booth 861, but easy to find. We'll have the big banner that says Probates. So I guess we'll go ahead and start with the people in the queue. And again, any questions, comments? We got time for at least 10 of you. Hit *6 and then hit 1. And we'll go to the phone number ending in 4888 first. You are up. Can you hear us?
I would like to ask it in 20 minutes.
What's that? You'd like to ask a 20-minute question?
Not now. Later on, not now.
Okay. All right. I'll put you on hold there. We'll go to Donna White. You are up next. Donna?
Hey, Jim. It's Todd and Donna.
Hey guys. How's it going?
Good. Very good. The other day, I put in a question, and it had to do with the last part of one of the attorney letters says, if you have any more questions, click the attorney tab. And the response that I got back was, yeah, we'll sell you a website. Well, we have a website. I'm just wondering what's in that attorney tab and what can we put in our own website. I mean, I can do it. It's not a problem. I just didn't know.
Okay,
well, the attorney tab on the website is there to gather information from the attorneys. It's also there to, indicate that you're collecting information from them. It's literally just there for credibility. So the attorney tab is a place where you can lay out why you're asking the attorneys to contact you and what information you're looking for and what you can provide for them. So it's really a landing page for attorneys, and on the website we provide, there's a very simple form there for them to fill out, but in reality, the majority of it is simply there to help you display to your clients that you work with a lot of attorneys, and that's really the purpose of it. The whole purpose of our website is to show the credibility aspect of it, and the fact that you work and demonstrate that you work with a lot of attorneys helps build that credibility.
Okay, we got all that. I just want to know, do you have something a format that we can copy and place into our website?
No, there's not a format for that. That's why we sell the website to do that, and if you're going to do something on your own, you can literally explain what you want to do and all that. I mean, it's a simple form on the website.
So where can I go on your website or someplace to see that, what you've got in there?
Okay, well, I'll get your information and I'll give you a buzz when we get off, and let's go through that there, and
okay.
I'll be glad to work with you and help you.
And
okay,
Todd,
great.
By the way, you do have access to, we do have recommended attorney letters on our website. You don't have to, use one of our websites to use one of the letters. We have.
We've done all the letters. We're believe me, we're cooking right along. But I just wanted to make sure that our website that we've had for a while, it's a team website, and it's all set up with a lot of questions and answers on probate, and we've got a lot of things in there, but I wanted to put another button in for attorneys, and that's why I'm just trying to figure out the content.
Yeah, no problem. If you'll just, Jim, you know who it is. I'll be glad to call you as soon as we're off this call.
Yeah, Todd,
Terrific.
do me a favor. Just send an email to support at all the leads, and give Tim the best number to call you back at.
Okay, that's fine. I'll do it right now.
All right, thank you, guys. Glad to hear. I'm glad to see that you are working the attorney end of it. We mentioned that I would say, Chad, what percentage of our agents? We always say reach out to the executor first. You do not need the attorney's permission to go list the property, but having done that, the executor is good for one deal. An attorney can be good for a career worth of referrals. Chad,
right.
what percentage of our agents, Chad, do you think are aggressively going after the attorneys? What would you guess?
Unfortunately, probably only 25%.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's really, and if you're wondering which attorneys to go after, pretty simple. If you get 100 probate leads, if you look down, you can actually sort the Excel spreadsheet, I believe, by attorney name. So go down that column, and I'm guessing out of 100 leads, I would be surprised if there was more than there's probably a dozen attorneys that have 4 or 5, 2, 3, 4, 5 or more deals. Would you say that's a pretty good guess, Chad? You can pretty much identify who the players are that are. It really
depends on the market. It really depends on the market. If you're in a smaller market, your statement's probably really accurate. In a much larger market, as the markets grow and distances change, there are larger volume of attorneys that are doing less stuff. So it depends on the size of the market. But for the most part, you're always going to find that there are attorneys who are doing multiple probates each month, and that's really where you need to focus your energy.
There you go. And Chad, you've shared with them on the call before, the best way to win it, the attorneys tend to be skeptical at recommending an agent. They don't want it to reflect badly on them if the agent doesn't perform. And a lot of them have had bad experiences with agents. The best way, Chad's made the point before, that these attorneys typically do not bill hourly on probate. It's a set fee. The best way to impress that attorney is to make his job easier. Just kill him with service. Make his job easier and make him want to send you more, more in future referrals. All right. Anything you want to add, Chad, or did I cover it?
I don't think it's still on. I think we're off.
I think he's got us muted out. So
sorry, I was muted.
Oh,
yeah,
that's okay.
That's really the point you want to cover with an attorney. You want to show them how you'll clear files faster for them, and build trust with them, and let them know that, have them trust that you'll get the most money possible for the family. And if you can do those two things, it's the people who have really help the attorneys understand that. They're like, oh my gosh, well, let me hook you up with cash buyers. Let me send you referrals. Because they don't expect it from an agent. They don't expect an agent to really know how to approach them and show them the benefits. So.
All right, excellent. We have one more question in the queue, or one more commenter. Again, guys, we got a huge turnout today. There must be other issues. Even if you're brand new, believe me, there'll be other people that want to, get the same information. Hit *6 and then hit 1, and we'll go to the next person. Phone number ending in 3199. You're up.
Yes, it's Jim Gilbert from Newport Richey, Florida. And
hey, Jim.
I'm just getting, how you doing?
Great.
As you know, I'm new and haven't even got my first set of leads. I've been checking every day. Can't wait to get them. But actually, I had a question. Maybe someone could answer it about when you send the postcards out to the executor, do you ever get any actually callbacks from them, or is it a matter of following? Do you pretty much always have to follow up with a phone call? And if you could answer that, and then I got another question or something I want to throw at you too.
Sure.
So your average response on direct mail is about 0.5% in the industry. When in my market, I get about a 2% response on each letter. So if I send out 100 letters, I'll have 2 conversations, and they're almost always come listings. There are people who are a little overwhelmed and just don't know where to start, and they're just grateful to have heard from somebody who can help them. the reason we encourage everybody to drop a phone call directly behind the letter is because 98% didn't call you. So that's just the best way to, get the most out of your letter is to, expect a small percentage of inbound calls, but also, expect to make the outbound calls and, follow up, make sure they got your letter, they understood why you sent it. That's been my experience, and I think that's pretty consistent for everybody.
Well, and the whole point is that you're following up on a warm lead. You're at least calling about something that you've already sent them, and it gives you a great way to start that conversation. Hey, I'm just calling to make sure you received my letter, and I'm interested in talking with you, and I want to know if you had any questions, rather than just, hi, this is a cold person calling you that you've never heard of. They'll probably look at it because we make sure that they, get opened real well, but you want to make sure that you're following up on something warm, and it's just a great lead-in. That's the other purpose of it. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I see exactly what you're saying on that. That's a good way to get in there. Yeah.
And Jim, you will have the immediate response is 2%. You will be amazed. I mean, the majority of the people that are going to respond will, but you'll get calls a year later from somebody that'll say, we just weren't ready when I got your letter. I put it in the file, and, we've gone through mom and dad's stuff, and we're finally ready to, to go ahead and sell the property. That's the beauty of putting something in front of them. They're not going to, they're unlikely to save your business card, in my opinion, or your phone number, your cell number. But if you put something in front of them, there is a cumulative effect. A majority of them, when they file the probate, they've kind of declared, okay, I'm ready to take care of this. I'm ready to sell the property. But there is a significant percentage, I don't know what that number is, that you'll hear from 3, 6, 9 months, a year later. You'll get a call from a letter you sent out a long time ago. So, that's
okay.
why it's really, really important to get at least, if you're going to do nothing else, I've had agents say, we recommend 3 letters, 3 phone calls, because we find that's the best way to maximize your results. But I have had agents in massive markets that get hundreds of leads that say, I can't afford to send out 3 letters. It's going to kill me with postage. What should I do? And I say, get at least 1 letter in their hands, and then double and triple up with the phone calls. Phone calls are cheaper than the letters, but it's important that you get, if you can afford to do it, the ideal situation is the 3 letters. Sometimes they'll be in a state of grief. They won't notice the first one, and by the 3rd one, the probate's almost over. If they're going to take action, they're pretty close to taking it by the time they receive the 3rd letter. But it is important to get something in front of them. So, have you done that yet, Jim? Are you doing the letters yourself, or you just do it?
No, I'm going to let you guys do them, but I don't even have my first set of leads yet. Actually, I've only been signed on for 2 weeks. And
one of the things you need to do, Bud, is you want to get those letters out as soon as you can after you get your leads. So if you're going to have us do them, you probably need to go ahead and get ready to do that and get your order form in. That way, as soon as your leads come, you push the button, and we'll know when the leads went out, when they went to you, and that way your letters can get out the door as quickly as possible. And the reason for that is that in any market, you're going to find part of that low-hanging fruit, maybe that person who gets your letter, and they are a person who because of immediate need in that particular situation, whether it's a need to pay medical bills or need to settle the estate quickly or whatever those reasons are, they need to get that property taken care of. That's the lowest hanging fruit in this. And that's the piece of this that you need to get those letters out quickly for. But if you wait until you get your letters to order them, then you're adding more delay to that process. So my recommendation is, if you're going to have us do them, then go ahead and get that order in, and let's get you squared away.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Any other questions, Jim, or do we cover it?
Well, I was just going to say something about what you were talking about, the attorneys. I called an attorney last week to get him set up on my team, and I explained to him what I was doing, and he's telling me, he says, I can send you some leads too. So he's willing to work with me on that end of it too. So it's just not you needing them; they're kind of needing you too.
Yep, could not agree more. I thank you for that, and congratulations on taking full advantage of the leads you're getting. You might as well. You've got that information. reach out to them. That's great.
And you know, as far as actually, I asked him about cash buyers, and it's like he says, "How many do you want?" You know, so he's got a list of them. So you know, I was pleased to, you know, I did like some one-stop shopping there. You know.
Good for you. That's great.
So.
All right, excellent. Well, it looks like Todd and Donna are back with another question. Thank you, Jim, for your input. Todd and Donna, you're back. Go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon. It's Donna Lee White with Kai's out of Tequesta. And I do have a question. I noticed, that on our leads that we do have the attorney's email addresses. How do you feel about emailing to the attorneys? And then I have another question about how often do you suggest sending out our letters? I don't want to do it too much, but then I don't want to forget about them, Do you have any suggestions about that?
Well, most of our customers, Chad, I'll just do the sequence side. I mean, what we're generally recommending is that you do it at least once a month, that you send a letter out and follow up with a phone call, and that's generally what we do. We're doing monthly mailings. We do have people. We do.
Yeah, I understand that, but how about the attorneys? That's really what I was looking at.
Oh, you mean specifically to the attorney side?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, Pat, do you have an opinion about that?
I would, at least touch the attorneys on your list once a month. It's all about building a reputation, right? So they need to know that you're active in the space, and it's branding for you. So maybe they don't call you the first month or the second month. Maybe they're overwhelmed down the line, and they're like, my gosh, that lady, she's on it. She keeps mailing me. So I would, at least for the ones that show up multiple times, I would put a letter in their office at least once a month.
Okay, all right. And as far as emailing, would you, since we do have the email addresses, how do you feel about that?
Well, and I will say that we don't always get email addresses. So for everybody on the call that's saying, wait, I don't have email addresses, there are some counties where it's just kind of icing on the cake that record that on public records. The majority do not. So if you're not getting that, it's because it's not available. So, okay. But you're in a good position. You do have it. I would definitely use it. I mean, I would, write up at least one email that, just introducing yourself, and you may even, are you pretty tech savvy? Do you use MailChimp or Constant Contact or any email provider?
No, we don't, but we could. We could very well.
I would recommend MailChimp. It's free for it would be about $10 a month to have it set up as an autoresponder, and then each month you can simply drop the attorney's email addresses into your list, and you could drip emails out to them. So I would write, just maybe 6 months worth of email, and each time you add a new attorney to the list, they'll get email from you for the next 6 months. And just like we mentioned in the beginning of the call, the things you want to really highlight to them is that you're not the average realtor. You're providing a higher level of service to the community than really anyone expects. You can explain all the options that you can offer the family, mm-hmm. and you can all the options that are in your letters. Help the attorneys understand what you do, and in some of the content, like some of the emails, I would help them understand how that benefits them, how it benefits their clients, and just slowly drip it out and use the emails as a free branding.
Okay, and one more question. When it comes to the emails and or the letters, do you suggest using the same one or using something a little different the next time, or saying I've already sent you a letter or this or that, just wanted to, go over or reiterate? What do you feel about that?
So I've split tested, and I used to use a 1, 2, 3 sequence. Then I went to the options letter, and I've gone back to the options. It really hasn't made much of a difference for me. So what I settled into, just because it was so much easier, was sending the options letter 3 times, and we still got the same response. So that what I found is when I got really granular with the campaign and tried to track too many letters and it just bogs you down. So keep it simple. You can use the same letter 3 times. Now with email content, you obviously don't want to do that. I don't think. And again, it would be something you would have to test. I don't get attorney information in my market because I'm in Virginia. We just don't get it.
All right.
So, but I would recommend at least 6 unique emails, and then maybe you can drip them once a month for the rest of the year after that. With the same email. Hey, just a reminder, we still do this, and this.
Okay. The other thing about an email is that you're going to get a real short fuse. If they're reading it, they're going to read 2 sentences, and if it's not anything they're interested in, they're done. So keeping them very, very short, making a bullet point in 1 paragraph, whatever you're going to say, get it said, 2 or 3 sentences, call it good, and you're looking to have, establish that contact. You may tell them that you'll be following up with them from time to time, but a long email is not ever going to get read. You're taking a lot of time to do something that won't pay much of a dividend for you. So keep them short.
Okay, good point. All right, great. Thank you so much.
All right, we have time for a couple more, but there's no one else in the queue. Chad, I want to throw while we wait. If anybody else, we got time for 1 or 2 more. Hit *6 and then hit 1. And I just wanted to run something by you, Chad. I don't think he's on the call. We just had another one come on. Okay, so let me put the questioner on first, and then I'll ask the other question if we have time. Phone number ending in 4568. You're up.
Yeah, hi. This is Dave Friedman out of LA.
Hey, Dave.
Since we're discussing working with attorneys, I wanted to see what your viewpoint was as far as giving any type of reward, or which may be an issue with RESPA laws with attorneys. I don't think you can give a referral to an attorney, even though they're allowed to act like a broker in the sense of conducting a contract. I was thinking maybe they could bill me for reviewing the contract.
Yeah, most of the issues in terms of dealing with attorneys. First off, we steer real clear of offering legal advice and anything like that. But I will tell you this, that most of the relationships that you're going to have with an attorney are ones of convenience. In other words, if you're satisfying a need that they have, which is somebody good to refer somebody to that they know is going to expedite the process, get the job done quickly, and deliver a good result for their client, that's all they're looking for. They're not looking for a little fee here and there. When you can certainly ask the question, let them tell you what they might be looking for if there's something there. But I'd phrase it in such a way of saying, I really appreciate your help. Is there anything that I can possibly do for you? Certainly I'm going to refer folks to you if I get a chance. And if they have anything to say, let them do it. But don't trouble yourself too much with trying to do something that you're really not sure what your legal footing is. Or you can ask them, but most of the time they're just looking for convenience and help.
Dave, what state are you in?
California.
Yeah. California.
It's funny. It's funny because I hear from agents all around the country when I'm first talking to them. Well, don't the attorneys have their hands in the pie? And the only place I ever hear that being the case, probably won't surprise you, is California. And so I don't know what the law is there, but check with the local attorney and find out. I thought an agent had told me that it was possibly legal, but in most cases, like Tim said, if you're making their job easier, they're going to be more concerned about that than getting a referral fee. But I would check with your broker and find out. Check with the local attorney and see what you can do. Have you had anybody ask you for it, or you're just expecting it, Dave?
Well, I kind of offered it up, and some attorneys said, "Yeah, that sounds like something interesting. That would be nice. Thank you." Kind of attitude.
Got it.
I want to kind of keep that excitement going, but also I have to respect, I think the RESPA laws, which are lender laws, and that is a federal regulation.
Okay.
They're very particular about not allowing any referral fees going out to non-licensed people.
Yep.
For any property sold that has to do with a loan that falls under the RESPA federal law.
Got it.
And so I was thinking of just offering that I'm happy to have you review the real estate paperwork and take care of that fee up to 10% of the
Sure, let them be the
monies I receive.
let them be the closing agent. Sure, get paid that way. That makes sense. All right, good
All right,
question. Oh, you're very welcome. We have two more in the queue. Now we have about 5 minutes left, and we have two people. So if you could just state your question fairly briefly. 4888, you're next. I think that's Juliet.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
My question is that you mentioned about the email that is short. I want to know if you have any sample of that, if you can send it to us.
Chad, do you have any sample of an email that you've used with attorneys? Is that it? I'm sure it's not.
No, I don't. I've never gotten attorney information in Virginia, so I haven't written any copy for it.
But is it possible that you create one? And
Juliet, I would say, just like we asked the earlier gentleman, send an email to support@alltheleads.com and ask, and we'll do our best to try to put that together for you. And if it's something other people are going to use, we can share it with them also.
Thank you. And my second question, you mentioned that it's $10 monthly charge if you want to get some emails. So how may I make that happen?
That was
the $10 a month is just for the email provider. It's called MailChimp, and that's what will run your drip campaign. So you have to manually put the email addresses in it, but the base package is $10 a month. So you just add somebody to the list, and they'll get the sequence of email.
That's MailChimp.com, Chad?
Yes.
MailChimp.com, Juliet.
I'm sorry, the second word, what is it?
Like a chimpanzee, like a monkey. MailChimp.
MailChimp.com?
MailChimp.com.
Thank you. I'm done.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much. All right. No pressure. Last up today, we're expecting a great question or comment from you. Phone number ending in 9300. Realty Executives, you're up.
Oh, hi. This is Annette Kirshner. Hey, just in regards to what she was just questioning on what to write, I have been working with a couple attorneys, and what I did was I just took the letter that you send out to the attorney and just shortened it. I just introduced myself with a couple lines and then used the section where it says I provide special service, and then below there were 4 bullet points. So very short and sweet, so that may be a good suggestion on something to use. My question is, I sent Chad an email, I think yesterday or day before. I signed up probably within the last 3 weeks. The number of leads I'm getting said it should be 14, but the combination that they, my initial Excel file that they sent was for 3 months, and it showed a total of 17. So I'm hoping that maybe I can speak to Chad about that and see, we're thinking 14 leads a month, but yet over the 3-month period, I only got 17.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And I'll answer that as well. So we always look at an average, and oftentimes in the beginning of the collection process, when we're starting in a county, whether we've gotten it or not, and I don't know if that's the case in your county, but when we start off, we'll gather what's there and available, and at that point, it's possible that things have dropped out of the system that are no longer in there or whatever. But what we also do is we do a 3-month rolling average, and Tom, our other partner, is constantly monitoring our delivery counts. And if you're ever in a situation where we're either not delivering what we're supposed to do in terms of what our projected average was, and we don't really know until we go into collect. So we're projecting it most of the time based on population and history around other markets in your area, that sort of stuff. And we can't certainly be exact every month. So if we find that we're under delivering or over delivering, we'll always adjust it. We'll always make sure that it's right for you and do what we need to do to make sure that you're squared away. So certainly feel free to, as Jim always says, send an email to support. We'll take a look at what's going on there, get with our researcher, get you some real good answers, and I guarantee you we'll make you happy.
Okay, that would be great. Maybe adding another county would be maybe something I should look at doing. So I look forward to a response on that email.
By the way, our customer service guy, Tom, is on the call, and he asked, he's already checking. Give us your name again. I'm sorry, your name?
Sure, it's Annette Kirshner, Kershner, and I'm in Arizona, and the county is Coconino, Coconino.
Perfect. Tom's already checking on it, so thank you for the
Great.
question. And I said you were last, but Juliet, we got about 2 minutes. Juliet has another question. I'm going to go back to her. You're up, Juliet. You thought of something else.
Yes, thank you. I was thinking with myself, if I create like a calendar or something like a gift and a broker name or my name on it and just deliver it to their house and knock on their doors. Usually at these probate houses, is anyone lives there or?
Well, it varies.
So we've had, and in California, we've had people who had a lot of success with door knocking, but you're not going to the deceased last known address. You're actually going to the personal representative's address. So yes, I mean that's usually their primary residence is the personal representative's mailing address. And it's one of those things that it works in some markets and not in others. You know, if you have a lot of gated communities, it might not work. But we have had some people who had a lot of success, and they took this kind of a version of the options letter, and you know, it explains what you do, and you can hand it to them in person if they're there, or if not, you can, you know, fold it and stick it in the mailbox.
I understand, but usually when we go through the attorneys and we get the deceased information, are we going to get in contact with the deceased, like inherited people, like their son or daughters or something like that? And is it an opportunity that you can go see them? Who is the decision maker? Is it possible to just see them face to face and hand them a gift with your name and see them and talk to them for a few minutes?
Again,
sure,
Juliet,
that's what I was saying. So you would drive to the personal representative's mailing address is usually their primary residence. So that's where you would drive and knock on the door. And, you know, what you give them is up to you. A letter would be sufficient, I think, you know, just explaining what you do and introducing yourself.
But remember, Juliet, a lot of these people, especially in Florida and California, a significant percentage of them are not going to be local. They're going to be in another part of the country. So what Chad is saying, though, if you see that the personal representative's address is local, that's the only way I would use that approach. If you
I am hearing you. Maybe the house is in California, but the people they're in another state that they.
Correct. You don't want to drive to Florida to drop off a letter. I mean,
okay.
All right. Thank you. Good call today, guys. Thank you for your participation. Again, if you're in D.C. next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, please stop by the NAR conference at the Hilton there and say hi to us. I would like to end this call like I always do with, you know, every call. I want to thank you for being here, and I really challenge you guys. We had really good participation today. Take one thought, one idea, one thing that you heard that kind of inspired you on this call. Go out there and try it this week, and please come back and report to the group how you did next Thursday. Make it a great week, guys. Thanks for showing up. We'll talk to you soon.